Hi, welcome back to my channel. I want you to take a minute and stop and think about something. When was the last time that you had people over to your house for a meal or even snacks and to play a game or something, or Bible study would be good? But my main focus is a meal, breaking bread together. I've thought about this for years and years and years. Now, we've had people over, like, family for holidays and birthdays, stuff like that. But when was the last time that you had somebody or a family over just because? And maybe it's family, maybe it's just somebody else within your sphere of influence, whether it be a neighbor. That's been our case the last few weeks. um, a friend, a family from church that maybe you don't even know that well, just extending that helping hand or that kind hand. So, like I said, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I would think about it and then I would never do it. Our house is really small. And 3 Sundays ago, the neighbors behind us, so where I live, our yards are, our houses are tiny, but our yards are fairly decent size for being in town. And so our backyards are pretty long. And the street above us, we live on a terraced, it just keeps going up. So their backyards and our backyards butt up to each other. There's no street alley in between us. And this couple moved in like a year ago. An older couple. They're retired, newly retired a year ago, I think. Um, and I hadn't ever really talked to him till this spring. It was the lady was out weed trimming and up against our yard where our yards meet, their fence line, and I was outside getting ready to light the grill to grill lunch. And so she said hi, and we got to talking. And then I talked to her one other time, but my husband hadn't talked to him because he's gone during the week, or during the day, during the week, and that's when I talked to her. So 3 weeks ago on a Saturday, he was home outside with me, and this couple was outside, or the lady was, and he talked to her first. And then the husband came and sat on their patio, which is a good distance from where we were at our house. I said, "Why don't you go up and talk to him?" Because he had retired from the same. My husband's a truck driver, and he's a retired truck driver, the lady had told me. So I thought they're going to have things in common to talk to or talk about. So my husband went up there and they sat on the patio and talked for I don't know how long. And when he came back home, he said, "Hey, they invited us over for supper tomorrow." I said, "Well, okay." So we went there and the next day on Sunday for supper. And the neighbors on one side of them, they had moved in just this past January. I had never talked to them because, again, even though our yards butt up to each other, it's a fairly good distance and it's hills. And so it was really interesting. We got to know those neighbors that we had never talked to. We got to know the retired couple that we talked to a little bit. We got to know them better. Plus, they invited a lady on the other side of their street that's like 90, I think, 92. I don't know. She's lived there for like 50 or 60 years. We got to meet her. And it was just really nice to sit and talk to people that we didn't know. And maybe a lot of you already get together quite often with family, maybe, or other friends. We don't live in that situation. We don't have much family real close to us. The closest family is about an hour and a half, so we do see them, but not like on a super regular basis. Multiple times a year, but not even monthly. And so we enjoyed that so much that the next Sunday the neighbor on the other side of the street of us had come over to show me something, and I had put some stuff on the grill again. I grill a lot in the summer. It's just easy. And he was talking about how his dad used to grill, and his dad's been passed away for many, many years. His mom's still alive, and she comes around. And I had never invited him to eat. We were going to a few Christmases ago because I knew his mom was in another state, and when we went over to invite him, he was not home, so he must have gone somewhere else. But so I just said to him that I said, "Well, do you want to come over and have supper with us?" He's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, really." He's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, when I get it ready, I'll send my son over to get you." He said, "Okay," because my son and him talk a lot, and my son mows his yard and stuff and shovels his snow in the winter. So he came over that Sunday night. Well, then this last Sunday, well, on Friday or Saturday, I said to my husband, I said, "Well, how about if we invite him over again and invite his mom too?" Because we've chatted with his mom a lot, but not really sat down and, at length, just stood up outside. And she's 81. She'll be 82 next month, I think she said. So we did that, and they came over. We went with like a 1 o'clock lunch instead of supper, so we didn't have to worry about, you know, getting stuff cleaned up and getting to bed before work and school on Monday. And we sat out there so we did these outside. All these were outside. It's nice weather. So the little house doesn't matter. I have the food in the house, we get our plates, and then we go sit on the patio. So my point in all of this, have somebody over. It is just so nice to sit with people and relax and talk, and you never know. The first Sunday that we went to the neighbor's house, the older lady that I said was across the street from them that came over, I asked her because my husband's mom had said that she had an aunt that lived on the street above us. So this lady that had been there for 50-ish years, I said to her, "Well, do you know a Mary?" I said, "Supposedly my husband's great aunt named Mary lives up here somewhere on the street." She goes, "Oh yeah, this house that these other people that were there live in, that used to be a Mary. She was a Mary, but she's passed away now." I said, "I wonder if that was his great aunt." I had talked to this Mary before I even met my husband. And so I guess I won't know because she couldn't remember her last name or what her maiden name was. But yeah, it was just interesting. And then this last weekend with the neighbor across the street, his mom, she said one of the places that they had lived. And I said, "Oh, did you know so and so?" Because I knew they lived in that area. And it would have probably been around the same time. This was a different great aunt of my husband's on, the same side of the family, but and so I started saying their names and where they worked, and she said, "That last name sounds familiar." And she goes, "Was one of the kids a musician?" I said, "Yes." She goes, "My husband knew him very well. Her husband was a firefighter, and I can't remember if he was a chief, but he was a higher up at some point. And he would hire, so it's my husband's second cousin, to, I think he sang and played music. Or maybe he just sang and he had a band. I can't remember. I only met him once or twice, but I worked with his mom, or, cleaned her house and stuff when my son was little. So you never know. Both of these, the first and the third time, we were able to talk to people that knew people in my husband's family. And it's just, I think that we're supposed to have a community of people. Now, it's great to have people that have the same beliefs as you that you can break bread with, and I do believe that we are to do that. Now, these people don't necessarily have the same beliefs. The ones up behind us are all Christians, different denominations than us, so some differing views, but for the most part, the same morals and standards and values or whatever you want to call it. Um, and the interesting thing about that one was the neighbors next to them that they had invited. The husband is from Uganda, and his mom has been here. So I got to meet her, and she was telling us about some different things in Uganda, like how, well, not even necessarily just Uganda, but how different cultures do things because of the work that she has done or done in the past. She's been exposed to different cultures. And she was talking about how a couple of the cultures, how they, operate or live so differently. I think it was just really interesting. Anyway, I don't know if she's still here or not. I think I saw her this past weekend up there, but I would think that her month here is about over. Anyway, so my encouragement today, whether you're young, whether you're middle aged, whether you're older, take the time, think about who can you invite over in the next 2-3 weeks. Now we've done this 3 weeks in a row. I don't think that we will continue to do it every week, but I think will be a fairly regular occurrence, and we need to sit down and figure out some other people and to invite too. Now I don't have enough room to invite a whole bunch of people, even outside. We went and bought another patio table, an umbrella, and a couple chairs. But you know, space can limit how many different people groups you can have at a time. So you can spread them out. I think that this is a biblical principle. I know it is, that we are to gather with like minded people. And sometimes we can gather with people that maybe we're not like minded. I wouldn't spend tons of time with somebody that you have totally different views on stuff. Um, the neighbor across the street and his mom, I don't, I know, I'm pretty sure he doesn't necessarily consider himself a Christian. Um, I don't know if he's an atheist. I don't know. His mom says she thanks God every day that she's still, alive and able to take care of herself. But, a lot of people can say the name of God and not really believe in Christian things. So I don't know her enough to know exactly where she's at. But my point is, they're not like completely different, not completely contrary. They're not immoral, as far as I know. So I think it can be wonderful to spend time with people that maybe aren't where you're at, but you can have an influence on them. Um, if they see peace and joy and they don't have it, and I'm not saying these people don't, but that may be a situation where they can be like, why do you have this peace and joy? You know, X, Y, and Z's going on, or you had this happen. How do you have the peace and joy? I mean, right there, that can be a witness. Oftentimes, you can portray biblical values without even really saying a word. What a testimony! What a witness that can be to people that maybe you haven't been around enough to be that influence. But what a way to witness! Provide them with a meal. There's going out to eat, and that's great and fun. But it's different when you can just relax at home. You don't have to worry about lots of noise around you, how long you stay, are you occupying a table that they need? It's just different. And I would venture to say better. You can save a lot of money by cooking yourself, or maybe get carry out and bring it home, if you don't cook. But I would encourage you to maybe just learn to cook a couple meals that you can fall back on for an event like this, or a gathering like this. I guess it's not an event really. So think about it. Who can you have an influence on? Who can you have over for a meal? And maybe start something in your neighborhood where you spend time with each other. And maybe other people will jump on that bandwagon and have you over. So I hope this video finds you well. I hope this video finds you blessed. I would love if you would leave a comment what you think about having people over. Has this worked for you? Would you like to try it? Maybe you've never tried it, other than maybe family, which is fine. Invite them over too. And then if you would hit that subscribe button, it would really help me. And if you think this would help somebody or give somebody some thoughts that you want to see if they can expand their horizons, then share it with them. So, again, I hope you are blessed, and I will see you on the next video.